Caller, you're live on the air. This is John. John wants to have a little discussion with you. John, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Rabbi Singer, thank you. I appreciate your work. It's definitely pushed me back into the Hebrew scriptures. I don't want to say Old Testament. But if I could ask you a few questions before I get to my question, would you be okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, so is there a rabbinic argumentation from light to heavy? Is that a concept?
Yes, there is. Sure. And so I can explain to the viewer, if in the state of Texas, it's forbidden to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08, it's certainly forbidden to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.09. Okay.
Okay, and then is before the Holy One, blessed be He, inflicts the wound, He prepares the remedy. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and then also in the Talmud, is there a few different? I even believe Rashi at one point said it. King Messiah is more exalted than the ministering angels, of whom it was written, and out of whom does it come forth? From David. Is that in the Talmud?
Yeah, but you're greater. Or I don't know you, but you can be greater than the ministering angels. After all, you have free will. Ministering angels do not. So every person has free will, but not every being has free will. Angels do not have free will. So it's not just the Messiah. The only distinction between the Messiah and others is not everyone has chosen the God of Israel. The Messiah is a tzaddik. So every good person, I'm just going to presume you're a really good person or can be really great, you too can be greater than the ministering angels. Ministering angels have no free will at all, none. So they're not good. Okay.
Sure. So what do you think where do you think for Hebrews the main argument starts? Like, what is your overall interpretation? Where do you think what do you think he's mainly discussing in Hebrews? Because we don't really know the writer, and there's actually the majority of the letter, it talks about we must pay attention. So it's a collective written letter. But what do you think is the driving home point of the letter?
It's the first verse. First of all, it's not a letter. I know it's called an epistle to the Hebrews, but that's a misnomer. It's a sermon. That would be a good word. Book of Hebrews. It's really a book of Hebrews. It's a sermon. The first verse tells you the whole deal. The book of Hebrews was written probably about 64. People don't disagree with that because it's written before the war and when the temple was complete. And the first verse tells us the whole story, that long ago, God spoke to our fathers through the prophets. So we follow TaNaCh, right? But in these last days, he's speaking to us by a different means, not through the way he did in the old days, through TaNaCh, but rather through his Son, who he appointed heir to all things. That's the key of the whole book. And the book kind of then rounds out that. You know what's in between, right? That Jesus is above the angels, Moses, Joshua, the priest, he's the high priest, and it sort of rounds it out. It's going to keep going at the end of Hebrews chapter 8, where the Old Testament, so he's like doubling down. He's saying not only that that which has been the Old Testament, the Old Covenant, that which has been old, is to disappear in favor of a new covenant, misquoting, misapplying, misappropriating Jeremiah chapter 31. That's what Hebrews is really about. It's the longest and most succinct and well-fashioned argument against Judaism.
So I would disagree because in Hebrews 2:5, it says, it is not the angels that he has subjected the world to come, about which we are speaking. So Hebrews is not making an argument against, is saying that the Levitical priesthood has been replaced, because he makes it very clear that Yeshua has come from the tribe of Judah. What we're discussing is the world to come and the present age. So in the present age, it's clear that the first century apostles continually went to the tabernacle. So clearly it wasn't done away with in their eyes. And in Hebrews, he's talking about the world to come. And if I'm correct, the world to come is a concept in your guys in the Talmud. And my other thing is,
let's not go to another thing. Let's clear that up. Let's just clear it up. So here's the hard point about Hebrews, which is not written by Paul. I don't think you believe that. I'm just guessing. I don't know you, but I'm assuming you don't really think Paul wrote it. But that's not to diminish it. It's Pauline. The key point of Hebrews is a Pauline idea, and that is that it's not that there's a two-track path to salvation, but really, and this is very key in Pauline thinking, that all the law that was given really was a shadow, and this language is found in Hebrews and in Paul's own letters, that it really never had substance. How could, after all, the blood of bulls and goats atone for sin? And by the way, thank you so much for calling in. How could the blood of bulls and goats atone for sin? It's all pointing to Christ. And in Hebrews chapter 10, we are told that, misquoting the book of Psalms completely, it's misquoting Psalm 40, it says, sacrifices and offerings you did not desire. That's the key. That means the whole, all the commandments, the ritual commandments in TaNaCh, really were all foreshadowing Christ, foreshadowing Calvary, foreshadowing Golgotha, foreshadowing the Lamb. None of it really had any substantive value. As Paul says in Colossians chapter 2, verse 16 and 17, that don't let anyone tell you what you eat, what you drink, your holidays. The law essentially is a shadow, and the essence is Christ. So when Hebrews chapter 10, verse 5 says that sacrifice and offerings you did not desire, but a body are prepared for me, he actually changed what it says in Psalm 40, verse 6 and 7, where it doesn't say that. It says, but my ears you have opened for me. So he changed the word of God. But even more important than that scandalous alteration of the Hebrew Bible is that he is saying that none of the Hebrew Bible really had any intrinsic value. As Paul says at the end of Galatians 3, that he essentially is addressing the question of, why did God then give us the law? Well, he gave us the law just as a schoolmaster, as a taskmaster, to show us that we're sinners, to show us that we can't keep it. And what I'm sharing with you, as you very well known, is mainstream Orthodox lowercase o theology. This is straight Pauline. And then, Paul makes it clear that in the body of Christ, there's no Jew, Gentile, man, woman, slave and free man, they're all one body. He doesn't mean that physically, but he means that spiritually. There's no distinction between them. So Paul and Hebrews, very, very germane to your point, really is doing away with the intrinsic value of ritual commandments. It's really silly in a way. It shows us how out of touch they were, because as it turns out, ritual commandments are very easy to keep, and it's rather the mitzvot, the commandments that are being adam lechaveri, between one man and another man. Those are the ones that are really hard to keep. It's very easy to keep Shabbos. It's very easy to wear tzitzis. In fact, there's no commandment that's easier than wearing a four-cornered garment with tassel. Just put it on, you fulfill the mitzvah. It's the easiest mitzvah in the world. It's much more difficult to honor your parents, strikingly. It's much more difficult to be careful not to engage in slander against your friend, evil speech. So they were clueless on this point. That's the key. Hebrews is to is an argument against Judaism. That's the whole point of it. The book of Hebrews, and just on your other comment, the book of Hebrews is cognizant of the fact that the claim is not that Jesus was a priest according to the covenant that God made with Aharon, my great-grandfather, but rather a priesthood of Melchizedek, and he completely misunderstands Genesis chapter 14, but we're going off the line there. Anyways, I thank you very much for your thoughtful question, and shalom.
Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to Rabbi Singer's channel as well, and also don't forget his 2-volume book set, Let's Get Biblicals, Volume 1 and 2. The audio files are available, but the CDs are not, but they're available on his website.
The MP3. Let me say, I want to just one other thing for you
ahead.
guys. Listen carefully. No attention to that man. No, listen to me. It's so important. If you believe in the work that William is doing, that we're doing here, whenever you watch any of our videos, please like it and please share it. It's very important because it really affects the algorithm so that our videos are spread around. So really it's very, very important that whenever you see a video of William, a video of mine, it's very important to like it. I hope we like it.
Yeah.
But if you do, don't just pass it. Just make sure you like it and make sure that you subscribe to channels because it really has a very big impact on spreading Torah throughout the world. It's very, very important. You should really go through our videos and make sure that those videos that you haven't liked yet, you do like them. It really has a very, very big impact on spreading this message. Anyway, shalom.
Yeah. And commenting on them also helps generate views as well, so it kind of refreshes them on the system. So,
Yeah.
Rabbi, thank you. Great show, and we'll see you, Hashem willing, same time, same place next week. Shalom, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
If you enjoy this channel and the content, and it has changed your life, or perhaps the life of a loved one or a close friend, would you please consider supporting this work? You can click this link and it'll take you directly to my website with the donate button. Or there's a Patreon link and a mailing address for snail mail if you would prefer. If you do donate, please do me a favor and leave me a phone number where I can contact you and thank you properly. I hope you all have a wonderful 2025. Shalom.